Hello everyone, this is Lone Star Lawman, and I'm talking to you from the compound here in Texas, and I have a new gun review today. This is the Kahr X9. Kahr X9. It is a new gun in the last couple of years, but it just hasn't gotten to market quite as quickly as it should have been. Kahr, as you know, some or may not know, was pretty much the king of single stack pistols in the early 2000s up to about 2018 when the new SIG 365 came out, which had a 10 round stack and a half magazine, which gave it 10 rounds. Well, Kahr just kind of kept chugging away, but I think they decided finally that, hey, even though they're late to party with all these other companies coming out with 10 round micro pistols, that they needed to do the same, and they finally did. The X9 holds, when it comes with the out of the box, has two 10 round magazines. One is a flush fit, the other is a fingertip groove for you. And let me show you how they look. I'm going to have the slide open right now because I was having trouble with that lever to lock it back to. As you can see, that's what it looks like. Very flush. Yeah, I can get although I have large hands, I can get my hand around it pretty good. Not perfect, but pretty good. The other magazine that has the fingertip extension holds 10 rounds as well. So, see how that fits? Comes in pretty handy. Now, those were the two that came with it. I did have to order from Kahr.com the 15 round magazine. And the best part about this is it is completely flush on the bottom there. Looks good. I can get all my fingers around, even got some more room for it, okay? Not bad at all, huh? Okay. All right, I got one more mag. One thing that the X9 can do, and advertised, is that the Hellcat Pro 15 rounder and the 365 Sig Sauer 15 rounder can fit in this gun and work properly. Here is the Hellcat. I don't have the Sig Sauer. Now it hangs down a little bit, a little gap right there, but hey, it works real good. I took this to the range and I used all these magazines, every single one of them, and I didn't have any problems whatsoever. So there you go, the magazines. All right, now this gun has a 3.5 inch barrel, maybe slightly over that. It's a conventional barrel, and it's very accurate. When I shot on the range, I shot really good with it, so I didn't really have any problems. Okay, let's take a look at the top there. It had a white dot right there on the front sight, but cheapo me, and it works really good. Y'all ever think about doing this yourself? I got a Sharpie with bright orange, and I carefully filled in the white place there, and makes a nice good front sight. Now the rear sight is basically, let me see if I can show you all that. Of course, it's just a white slot there, and what you do is, of course, you do the old dot on top of the white there, and that's how you line them up, okay? All right. This thing weighs only about 17 ounces when it's not loaded. Loaded, of course, is around 23, 24 ounces when it's loaded. Now that I've got this, I had to take this swivel, this takedown lever, which is different from the other cars. Let me show that to you real quick. Here's the P9, and it has the regular standard looking almost like a Browning type takedown, and it takes down completely differently. You pull the slide back, line up these two index marks here on the side and the frame. There's one, there's two. And then when you pull back to that distance, you can take this out by pressing on this side and then pulling out this side, okay? Not too difficult, really. This one is completely different. You have this takedown lever, which was at the 3 o'clock position, and I swung it down this way. Being a brand new gun, it's really stiff. I'm gonna need the oil is pretty good because I have a hard time doing it. I had to do it off camera. But I did that because I do want to take it apart for you and show you how that works. Let's go ahead and do that now, okay? All right, I got it locked back to the rear, and this is down. And all you gotta do is let this down, pull the trigger, and it should slide right off, although it's very stiff right now being brand new. Here is your innards on the frame. Really not much difference than the other ones. The only difference I noticed, this one doesn't have those little shiny little rails on the bottom here like it does on the P9. But the trigger is very much the same. I don't know if you can see that spring in there, the trigger spring, there it is. It's a little stiff, like I said, about 7 or 8, it's about 7 or 8 pounds. The other car, the P9, is only about 5 pounds. So I don't know why they did that, but it does have a shorter take-up. I'll show you that here in a second. Okay, I'll put this aside. Let's take a look at the slide and the spring assembly and barrel. Okay, it's a captured recoil spring. You just pull it out like this. Then the barrel, you go forward a little bit, up and out. Okay. And there's the innards of the slide. Now, unlike the P9, see this little striker spring right there? Well, there's a plunger that guides it down, and the one that came with the P9 had a plastic one, which I replaced with a steel one. But this one came with a steel one, so that's great. I don't want a plastic plunger. I'm worried those things might break. That's just me. You see, it has what I usually do with my firearms. I put a little light grease on the rails and on ink surfaces that make contact with metal. Works very well for me. Never had any issues. In fact, it helped me break the gun in. And by the way, there's a 200 round break-in period with this gun. And what I did was I took advice of a friend who said, they have very stiff recoil springs, cars do, so I racked it about 100 times before I went to the range and put the grease on to make it as easy as possible to work. For 2 days, I locked the spring back in its position you saw a moment ago and left it in my safe for a couple of days, so it would loosen up again. And it worked really well. I mean, I only had, like I said, 160 rounds. All of them worked fine. Even the 10 rounds of Federal HST hollow points worked. The Federal, of course, the full metal jacket was fine. The only problem I had in the whole shooting experience on the range was that on this particular magazine, the one with the finger extension, the slide did not lock to the rear on the last shot, which is kind of strange, but the gun is still breaking in. The manual says it wants you to break the gun in with 200 rounds at least. And I only shot 160, so we might have a little bit of ways to go. Okay, as you can see, the ringed one with the smaller ring goes into the front of the gun. Turn this around so it'll be easy to put me in. And this part goes right in this little notch right here. Should I do that right? Okay. Make sure everything's centered. All right. Now let's put it back on. And all you do is just rack it back, lock it to the rear, throw the takedown lever, and then go forward again, and we're good to go. Okay, I'm going to show you the trigger. The trigger is about a 7 or 8 pound pull, which is more than the P9, which is about 5, so I'll show you, but it is a shorter take-up. See how short that take-up is? Let me go one time there. There we go. Got it. Let's see what the reset does. Not too bad. It's shorter than the P9. I can tell you that right now. Try it again. There we go. All right. Okay. So that's what the P9 looks like and how it functions and operates. As you can see, it's not much wider than the P9. It has a little shorter, of course, has a shorter handle. It has this little indentation right here for your palm. Works really well. And if you notice, on the P9 right here on my right hand where my thumb is, I put a Pagmar grip on there because the back strap had these same nubs, but they were very aggressive and they went high up and it really stung my hand, so I put that on there. I'll show you the difference in the trigger here with this one. The gun's been cleared. Both guns have been cleared prior to filming. Here we go. See how much easier that one was? Well, the X9 isn't bad, and when I went to the range, I was able to handle it pretty good, but it just took a little more pull to make it work. Okay. All right. One other thing that many forums and people I've read about on the Kahr X9, they hate this serial number and this nice big 10 serial number right there. The Kahr P9, you can't see it too good because I've got the grip on there, but it's down here and it's really small. So I don't know why they were doing that and what was the reasoning about that, but that's what they did. Okay, one other thing I should tell you, it comes in this box. Okay, Kahr arms, standard box, right? Inside this box, I'm not going to do an unboxing type thing. Those are so boring and they take too long. But one of the things that was in the box I want to show you is a sleeve and a base plate for another X9 magazine if you want to get, and the SIG 17 round X macro 9mm. I don't know if you can see that real good or not. There we go. There you go. All right, there you go. So that came in the box, of course, with an owner's manual, the lock, and you know, all the little advertisements that it has. But I took those all out. I don't think anyone wants to see any of that. Okay. All right. I am going to go to the range again one more time, shoot about the same amount of rounds and make sure it's functioning properly. I have a pocket holster for it, the DeSantis Nemesis, which works very, very well. I think I've showed it to you in one of my other videos. And in the other videos, if you look on the P9, I'm sorry I didn't bring it out for this video, but on the P9 video part 2, you'll see the Rapid Tuck from Vetter, which is a hybrid holster, which has a Kydex shell with a not cowhide, but horsehide backer. And strangely enough, this will fit that holster. The only difference is this is slightly wider. There's a little slight bulge in the leather, but you know, on that side it'll give, you know. But it would not fit my outside the waistband holster for the P9. That's because everything is so rigid. But with the leather on that one side, it gives enough to where it'll fit in there, no problem. So if you have a Rapid Tuck for a P9, it'll work for you. I can tell you that right now. Okay. Well, folks, that's really all I have today. I can't think of anything other to tell you is that most of the gun stores, you don't see too many cars in them anymore because the single stacks just haven't been selling like they used to. This is sold, but it comes in small quantities. Apparently they don't get them to the distributors as much, because I've gone to several gun stores, looked on several gun sites and couldn't find it. My understanding is you can find this on Palmetto State Armory, guns.com, and places like that. You might try Gunbroker if you want to. But I went to my local gun store and I asked them, I said, do you have one of your distributors have one of these? And they checked, and they did. And it must have been really good, because I only had to wait one day before it showed up in the store. So that was no problem for me. Okay, well, I can't carry this yet because it's not broken in yet, and I'm not going to trust it until I know it's good. Let me show you the other side, see what it looks like a little bit more. That's what the other side has. It has the front serrations right here, and the normal back ones, all right? I think y'all will like this. Let me put in the standard flush. One thing I should tell you, when you're loading these things, if you have big hands like me, you're going to have to open up your hand a little bit, like this, and have that pinky out there, and kind of, or even lift that one. So when you guide it in with your hand, like this is how you're supposed to load magazines. Hold this finger on the front of the magazine, guide it in, and then slam it. But you have to hold these fingers out a little bit when you do that. I didn't have to do that with any of my other larger guns, but with a smaller gun with a smaller handle, you can see it's not very long until you put the magazine in. Okay? All right, I think I just talked way too much. I want to make sure you had all the information though. And just remember that you want to get extra magazines. The Hellcat works real good, and the Kahr 15 rounder works good. And these two that came with it work pretty good. Hopefully won't have any slide lock issues on the next range outing. Okay, that's all I have to say today for the review of the Kahr X9. Until next time, I'll see y'all in the next video, and so on now from Texas. Bye-bye.